Hi, welcome to this lesson. Previously, we learned how to install, set up, and run Node.js on your local machine. In this video, you will learn the differences between the JavaScript used in the browser versus JavaScript used in Node.js. Both the browser and Node.js use JavaScript as their programming language. Building apps that runs in the browser is entirely different from building a Node.js application. Even though it's always JavaScript, some key differences makes the experience radically different. As a front-end developer deeply immersed in JavaScript, the adoption of Node.js applications offers a significant advantage. The convenience of crafting both front-end and back-end functionalities using a unified language. This presents an exceptional opportunity considering the considerable effort required to graft a programming language thoroughly. Leveraging the same language for all web-related tasks, spanning client-side and server-side operations, places you in a unique advantageous position. There are many differences between the JavaScript used in Node.js and in the browser. In this video, we will categorize them into the following and discuss each individually. First, we have execution environment. Next, we have core modules. We also have I/O operations, global scope, and module systems. These categories will help you understand how the JavaScript used in Node.js differs from that of the browser, and also give you insight into what to learn in JavaScript before switching to Node.js. Under the execution environment, the browser provides a runtime environment for executing JavaScript code within a web page. In the browser, JavaScript interacts with the DOM object model to dynamically manipulate the structure and content of the web page. Lastly, the browser environment typically includes APIs for handling events, manipulating HTML and CSS, and making HTTP requests. On the contrary, Node.js provides a runtime environment for executing JavaScript code outside the browser, typically on servers or command line interfaces. Next, Node.js does not have access to the DOM, that is, Document Object Model, but provides APIs for file system operations, networking, and accessing operating system functionalities. Lastly, Node.js enables server-side development, allowing developers to build web servers, APIs, and command line tools and other applications using Node.js or using JavaScript. Now let's move on to core modules. The browser provides built-in JavaScript objects and APIs for interacting with the DOM, handling events, making AJAX requests, and performing client-side validations. Common browser APIs include window, document, fetch, XML HTTP request, and event target. While Node.js provides a different set of core modules tailored for server-side development and command line scripting. The core modules in Node.js includes FS, that's for file system, HTTP, both HTTP server and client, net, both TCP and UDP networking, and util, that is some utility functions. It also provides OS for operating system information. It also provides path for file path manipulation. Next, under I/O operations, browser I/O operations primarily interacts with the DOM, makes AJAX requests to external servers, and handle user input events. Browsers also use a single-threaded event loop to manage asynchronous tasks, such as fetching resources from the network and responding to user interactions. In contrast, Node.js excels in handling I/O-intensive operations, such as file system operations, network requests, and database interactions. Node.js also utilizes non-blocking I/O and asynchronous programming patterns to maximize throughput and concurrency. allowing it to handle multiple requests simultaneously without blocking the execution thread. Next, let's talk about global scope. In the browser, the global scope includes objects like window, document, and navigator, representing the browser environment. Also, the browser's script can manipulate the global scope to access and modify DOM elements, interact with browser APIs, and define global variables or functions. However, in Node.js, the global scope does not include browser-specific objects like window or document. Node.js scripts have access to Node.js-specific global objects, such as global, process, and console, and provide access to Node.js runtime information and utilities. Lastly, let's explore the module system. In the browser, JavaScript modules are loaded asynchronously using script stacks in HTML files or dynamically fetched using techniques like Ajax or module loaders, that is, Require.js or System.js. However, browser modules can be organized using the CommonJS, AMD, or ES modules format, depending on the chosen module loading strategy. On the other hand, Node.js uses CommonJS module format to organize and load modules. Node.js modules are loaded synchronously using require statements, and dependencies are resolved recursively based on the file system hierarchy. Lastly, Node.js also supports ES modules, that's Emacs script modules, since version 12, allowing developers to use import and export statements to define and import module dependencies. Understanding the differences between Node.js and the browser is essential for developers working with JavaScript in different environments. Each environment has unique features, APIs, and use cases, making them suitable for applications. That will be all for this video. See you in the next video.